Some people are unplugging from the grid and finding freedom. Others try the same thing and get hit with fines, shutdowns, or rules they never saw coming. That's the strange reality right now. In one town, living off the grid is quietly encouraged. In another, it's treated like a threat. Same country, same laws on paper, completely different outcomes. And the scariest part? Most people only learn this after they've already spent their savings. If you care about control over your own life, your energy, your land, or your future, this is something you need to understand early. So if staying ahead of the rules matters to you, hit subscribe, because these changes don't come with warning signs. On the surface, off-grid living looks like a lifestyle choice. Solar panels, rainwater, a cabin far from the noise. But underneath that image is something much bigger. Rising rent, unstable utilities, property taxes climbing faster than wages, more rules telling people how they can live on land they supposedly own. For many, going off-grid isn't about being extreme. It's about survival, independence, and long-term security. And here's what most videos won't tell you. The towns that allow off-grid living didn't end up that way by accident. Some want new residents, some want labor, some want taxpayers who won't strain local systems. But every one of them has a catch, and ignoring it can cost you years. Today, we're breaking down 7 US towns where off-grid living is actually possible, not just in theory but in real life. We'll look at land rules, water access, power laws, zoning culture, and the unspoken realities locals don't advertise. This isn't hype, it's practical. And by the end, the final town may completely change how you think about where freedom still exists in America. Off-grid living is exploding right now for a reason. Housing costs are pushing people out. Utilities are becoming unreliable or unaffordable. Regulations are tightening in places that once felt relaxed. Some towns are reacting by opening their doors. Others are locking them quietly. Off-grid freedom isn't about escaping responsibility. It's about choosing where you're willing to carry it. And that choice matters more now than ever. Number 7. Cochise County, Arizona. This is one of the few places left where you can legally live off-grid and nobody shows up asking why you're not connected to anything. That alone shocks people. Picture wide-open desert, big skies, dirt roads that stretch forever, and nights so quiet you hear your own thoughts. Days start early here. Sun up, work done before the heat kicks in, evenings spent watching the sky turn orange with almost no noise except the wind. It's isolated, but not cut off from reality. Land here is still relatively affordable compared to most of the country. You can find parcels that don't cost a lifetime of debt, especially the farther you are from paved roads. Water usually means hauling it in or drilling a well if you can afford it. Solar is common, almost expected. Many people run full setups with batteries and generators as backup. Zoning is flexible in many parts of the county, which is why off-grid builders quietly gravitate here. One guy moved out here thinking it would be instant freedom. First week, his water delivery truck got stuck in the sand and never made it. He learned fast that independence also means planning everything yourself. No shortcuts, no complaining, you adapt or you struggle. Small-town life here comes with quirks. The nearest store might be an hour away. Everyone knows who just bought land. And yes, people will absolutely ask why you moved here within 5 minutes of meeting you. So here's the real question. Could you handle the distance, the silence, and doing things the hard way if it meant no one telling you how to live on your own land? Drop your answer in the comments. Number 6. Costilla County, Colorado. This place gives you a surprising amount of freedom, but only if you play by one rule most people miss until it's too late. Costilla County attracts off-grid builders because land is cheap and enforcement is light compared to most of Colorado. Wide valleys, open plains, mountains in the distance, and a slow, quiet pace where days blend into weather, chores, and long sunsets. It feels like space to breathe. But here's the catch. Water. You can't just drill a well or collect rain however you want. Water rights are serious business here, And that single rule shapes everything. Land prices are low enough that people jump in fast, sometimes too fast. Solar is common. Generators fill the gaps. Internet is spotty at best. Grocery runs aren't casual. They're planned events. One couple moved here thinking they'd figure things out as they went. First winter, their access road washed out, deliveries stopped, and they realized help wasn't coming. You either adapt or you leave. There's no safety net here, no quick emergency fixes. If something breaks, it's on you. If you forget supplies, that's a long drive and a long lesson. But for some people, that's the appeal. No noise, no pressure, just responsibility. This town forces a question most people avoid. Would you trade convenience for control? If you're getting real value from this breakdown, tap the like button. It helps more people see practical, no-hype info like this. Number 5. Taos County, New Mexico. This is one of those places where off-grid living is technically legal, so emotionally accepted, and bureaucratically confusing all at the same time. Taos County is famous for attracting people who want to live differently. Desert light, wide skies, cold nights, quiet mornings, and homes that don't look like anything in the suburbs. On paper, there are zoning laws, building codes, and permit requirements. In real life, enforcement depends on where you build, how visible you are, and whether anyone complains. That's where the grey zone begins. Here's the difference you need to understand. Legal means fully permitted, inspected, and approved. Tolerated means officials know people are doing it but don't rush to intervene. Ignored means nobody notices until they do. One builder spent months going back and forth with permits, finally got approval for a modest off-grid home. Another built quietly on remote land, lived peacefully for years, then got a stop work notice after a neighbor reported it. Same county, very different outcomes. Water here is usually hauled. Solar works well because of the sun. Septic systems are often required, even for alternative homes. The paperwork can feel like it was designed in another century, shuffled between offices that don't always agree with each other. Locals joke that patience is the real utility you need here. This town rewards people who research deeply and move carefully. It punishes those who assume freedom means no rules at all. So be honest with yourself. Would you risk building in a place where the rules depend on who's looking? Drop your answer in the comments.
Number 4, Floyd County, Virginia. This place doesn't advertise off-grid living, it lives it. People here value doing things themselves, but they don't pretend they can do everything alone. Rolling hills, foggy mornings, gravel roads, wood smoke in the air, and a daily rhythm built around work, weather, and neighbors checking in on each other. It's quiet, without feeling empty. Self-reliance is respected here, but community is the backbone. Barter isn't a trend, it's normal. Eggs traded for firewood, mechanical help exchanged for fresh produce, shared tools, shared knowledge, shared time. When a storm knocks out power or a well pump fails, people don't wait for a hotline. They show up. One newcomer lost heat during a cold snap. Before they could even panic, 2 neighbors arrived with space heaters, firewood, and advice they didn't know they needed. Living here means you're rarely truly isolated, but you're never dependent either. You picture waking up knowing help exists, but only because you've earned trust by contributing, not consuming. That balance matters more than solar panels ever will. And if you're still watching at this point, you're already ahead of most people who click these videos and disappear. The top 3 towns take everything we've talked about and turn it up. Extreme freedom, harsh realities, quiet loopholes most people miss. One of them feels almost lawless, in ways that scare some people and attract others. Off-grid rules are changing faster than anyone admits. Timing matters. And the next places on this list operate on a completely different level. Number 3, Apache County, Arizona. This county didn't become off-grid friendly by accident. Decades ago, land here was cheap, remote, and largely ignored. Instead of forcing modern infrastructure onto miles of desert, local policy quietly adapted. The rules focused less on forcing connections and more on basic safety.
That mindset stuck, and today it's one of the reasons people keep finding their way here. Water is the first reality check. Most residents haul it or store it, and that's fully expected. Wells exist, but they're expensive and not guaranteed. Solar, on the other hand, is almost second nature here. Long sunny days make off-grid power realistic, not theoretical. Battery systems, backup generators, and simple setups are common, and inspections tend to focus on whether you're safe, not whether you're conventional. This place attracts a specific kind of person: families priced out of cities who want space and control, retirees who want low expenses and quiet days, burnt-out workers who don't want their lives dictated by bills and deadlines anymore. But no one stays here by accident. The wind is harsh. Supplies take planning. If something breaks, you don't call a service, you fix it or wait. Picture mornings where the silence is real. No traffic, no neighbors through thin walls. Just sunlight, routine, and work that actually matters. Peaceful? Yes, but demanding. This isn't escape, it's commitment. So ask yourself honestly, could you live this way for 10 years, not 10 months? Drop your answer in the comments. Number 2, Slab City, California. This is one of the last places in America where you can live almost however you want, and that freedom comes with a price most people underestimate. Slab City sits deep in the desert, far from normal towns. Built on abandoned concrete slabs left behind by a former military base. There are no utility hookups, no formal zoning, no real enforcement unless something goes very wrong. That's why people come here. Absolute autonomy. You answer to yourself. And the environment. But the desert doesn't care about freedom. Summers are brutal. Heat pushes past comfort and into survival. Water must be hauled. Power is whatever you can generate and protect. There's no police station down the street, no emergency response you can rely on. Some people thrive here. They build solid solar systems, form tight circles, share resources, and live quietly for years. Others arrive unprepared, burn through savings, and leave broken within months. One man showed up chasing total freedom. No bills, no rules. His setup failed during a heat wave. His water ran out faster than planned, and help didn't come. Another arrived with skills, backups, and patience, and built a stable life most people wouldn't believe possible. This place forces a hard question. Do you want comfort or control? Because here you rarely get both. Number 1. Valley County, Idaho. This is the part most people don't expect. The most realistic off-grid freedom left in America isn't loud, extreme, or chaotic. It's quiet, legal, and hiding in plain sight. Valley County stands apart because off-grid living here isn't treated like rebellion. It's treated like a normal choice. The county is large, rural, and built around the reality that not everyone wants or needs full infrastructure. Land access still exists outside dense zones, and regulations focus more on safety than forcing connections. If your setup is solid and responsible, you're often left alone. Land prices vary, but opportunities still exist if you look beyond the obvious spots. Wells are common, but water planning is serious business. Solar works well, generators fill gaps, and alternative systems are familiar to inspectors, not suspicious. The community attitude matters most here. People don't care how you live. They care if you pull your weight and respect the land. One family moved here after failing twice in stricter counties. Their mornings now start with wood stoves, quiet routines, kids helping with chores, and days that feel slower but fuller. It's not easy. Winters are real. Supplies take planning. Mistakes cost time. But no one shows up questioning their choices, only offering advice when asked. Here's why nobody talks about this place. It doesn't fit the viral off-grid fantasy. It's not dramatic, it's not lawless, it's practical, and those places don't stay under the radar for long. Picture starting over somewhere you're allowed to build carefully, live quietly, and plan long-term without fighting the system every step of the way. That's the wild card, and for many, it's the last window of real choice. Off-grid living isn't a fantasy anymore, it's a strategy, and like any serious strategy, It only works if you approach it with clear eyes. The people who succeed aren't chasing escape or rebellion. They're planning. They understand the laws before they buy land. They think about water before solar. They prepare mentally for inconvenience, isolation, and responsibility, not just the Instagram version of freedom. What makes this moment dangerous is how fast things are changing. A town that looks relaxed today can tighten rules tomorrow. A county that ignores off-grid builds can suddenly start enforcing codes when populations grow. That's why timing, research, and mindset matter more than enthusiasm. Emotion gets people excited. Preparation keeps them alive and stable long-term. If you take anything from this video, let it be this. Freedom isn't about avoiding rules. It's about choosing where the rules still make sense for the life you want to build. If this helped you think more clearly, hit the like button, and it tells the algorithm this kind of practical, grounded content matters. Share this with someone who's talked about going off-grid, but hasn't looked at the reality yet. And subscribe to MrState Realities, because we don't chase hype, we track what's actually happening. In the next video, we're breaking down states quietly tightening off-grid rules, and towns most people don't realize are banning alternative living right now. These changes don't make headlines. They happen quietly until it's too late to react.